uses by credential, right, by exposing it through a web server's interface, but we are here encoding the URL. I'm sorry, we're encoding the username and password in the URL, and that's really a bad practice. We don't really want to do that. So a better option to do that, right, is to instead use a post, right? So for instance, we might use a post here, and instead of encoding it in the URL, we would perhaps put the username and password in the body of the HTTP request, where we have a chance to, for instance, maybe encode it or encrypt it, so that even if somebody intercepts our communication, nobody would be able to actually read the username and password, right? Things that we cannot do in the URL. We cannot encode the URL. We can encode and encrypt the body. So usually we would use a post. Even though we are breaking RESTful convention, right? In RESTful convention, when you're going to do a read operation, usually you do a get, okay? But here we have other concerns. Not only following RESTful convention, we're also following security conventions, right? That we want to make sure that our communication is secure. So yes, in normal data access and retrieval and updates and whatnot, we definitely follow RESTful conventions. But if it's security, or it's session management, or it's credential, things like this, then certainly that overrides the concerns of using RESTful. So yes, we're going to use post, and instead of users, we might say, I don't know, something like login. Right, where we might send in some information when we're trying to log in, and if we find that person, right, it comes back saying yes, that person does exist, right? So we're going to post to login, and we're going to pass the username and password, but not in the params. We're going to pass it in the body. Okay, and then we're going to return that user. Okay, so having done that, right, there's no way for us to test that from our browser. So we're going to be using Postman to test this. All right, so let's go to Postman. So let's create here a couple of Postman requests, right, for cs4550. Oops, sp20 that was. Can we rename that? sp20. So here, let's start. So let's bring it up here, and let's create a couple of requests. So let's do a request. We're going to call it login, and it's this one right here. This is going to be a post, and the URL that we're going to post to is API login. So let's copy that. It's going to be http:// localhost 3000 API/login, right? And we're going to send in the body raw text and JSON, and we're going to send the username is going to be Alice, and the password is going to be also Alice. Once we have that, we can save that and run it, and notice that it comes back with an error. Something went wrong. Right? What's going on here is that the body, right, by default, Node.js Express doesn't know how to parse the body by default. So we need to install another library that will allow us to parse the body. So let's take a look at that next.